Have you ever found yourself wondering why some women effortlessly stay on a man's mind, even when they don't seem to try? What is it about them that lingers in his thoughts, making him long for their presence, crave their attention, and miss them so profoundly it almost hurts? The answer might not be what you think. It's not about being the most beautiful woman in the room or having the loudest laugh. It's about something deeper, something almost magnetic. The truth is, many women unknowingly sabotage their chances of becoming unforgettable by clinging too tightly or chasing too hard. Sound familiar? Perhaps you've sent too many texts, over-explained your worth, or bent over backward trying to convince someone to care. But here's the problem. Desperation repels, mystery attracts. What if I told you that you could flip the script entirely? That there's a way to not only get his attention but to keep him longing for you, even if he seems uninterested now. Imagine becoming the woman who lives rent-free in his mind, the woman he can't help but think about, the one who effortlessly makes him miss her. Today I'm going to share with you the ultimate secret to capturing a man's thoughts and making him miss you so badly it shakes him to his core. Through Dark Stoic Psychology, you'll learn how to master your energy, hold your power, and harness principles of Stoicism to create lasting, authentic connections. We'll go deep into this transformative process, breaking it down into 10 irresistible strategies that anyone can implement. These aren't games, they're life-changing mindsets, ready to step into your power. Let's begin with the first secret to making any man miss you badly: showcasing a thriving and independent life. 1. Showcase a thriving and independent life. Picture this. You're scrolling through social media and stumble upon someone who seems to be living their best life. They're posting stunning photos of their adventures, sharing stories of their achievements, and radiating joy with every update. What's your immediate thought? You're intrigued. You want to know more. You can't help but feel drawn to them. This is exactly the effect you want to create in a man's mind. Men are naturally captivated by women who exude independence and vitality. Why? Because a thriving woman signals strength, confidence, and an exciting life, qualities that are irresistibly attractive. But here's the catch. Many women make the mistake of oversharing or coming across as overly curated. To make a man miss you badly, your independence needs to feel authentic, not performative. He needs to sense that your happiness doesn't revolve around him, and that your life is full and vibrant, with or without his presence. Let's talk about how to achieve this in practical ways. First, be strategic about your social media presence. Think of your social platforms as a curated window into your life, not a diary. Post photos of moments that showcase your passions, accomplishments, and genuine joy. Are you hiking with friends? Share a snapshot with a caption about gratitude for the great outdoors. Did you just finish a challenging project at work? Post about your growth and the satisfaction of a job well done. These updates aren't about boasting, they're about showing that you're thriving. Now, some of you might wonder, what if I don't have major accomplishments to share? That's okay. You don't need to be climbing mountains or winning awards. Even the smallest moments of joy, like a peaceful walk, a creative hobby, or a book you loved, can highlight your fulfilling life. But remember, less is more. Overposting or sharing negative, mundane details can diminish the allure. You're creating curiosity, not broadcasting your every move. Next, focus on building a life that excites you offline. Social media is only a small part of the picture. The real magic happens when you're genuinely happy and fulfilled in your day-to-day life. Pursue hobbies that light you up. Set personal goals that challenge and inspire you. Surround yourself with people who uplift and energize you. When a man sees that your happiness doesn't depend on him, it creates a powerful dynamic. He begins to wonder, what's keeping her so busy? What's making her smile like that? This curiosity is the first spark of longing, and it's exactly what we're aiming for. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you did something purely for yourself? Something that made you feel alive and powerful? If it's been a while, now is the time to start. Not for him, but for you. The more you invest in your own happiness, the more magnetic you become. Lastly, embrace the principles of Dark Stoic Psychology by mastering your emotional independence. A Stoic woman is grounded, calm, and unshakable in her confidence. She doesn't seek validation because she knows her worth. When you embody this mindset, you naturally project an aura of mystery and strength that men find irresistible. Imagine him scrolling through his phone late at night, seeing your posts and wondering what you're up to. He can't help but picture you thriving, smiling, and enjoying your life. That image lingers, making him miss you more and more. This isn't about playing games. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself and letting your light shine. When you do, you'll find that men aren't just missing you, they're chasing you. 2. Create space to let his curiosity grow. Have you ever noticed how much more you think about something when it's just out of reach? That new book you haven't had time to read, the vacation you keep planning but never take, or even the outfit you keep picturing but haven't bought yet. It lingers in your mind, doesn't it? The same principle applies to human connection. When someone isn't constantly available, they occupy your thoughts far more than someone who's always at your fingertips. This is the power of creating space. Now, let's be real, most women have been taught that the way to keep a man's attention is to stay in constant contact. Text him good morning, send him updates throughout your day, and respond within seconds when he messages you. But what if I told you this approach is doing more harm than good? Men, by nature, are curious creatures. They're drawn to mystery and the thrill of pursuit. When you're always present and overly accessible, that sense of intrigue fades. He knows exactly where you are, what you're doing, and how you feel about him. And while it might seem like you're building closeness, what you're really doing is eliminating the space he needs to miss you. So, how do you create that space without playing games or being cold? First, start by setting boundaries with your communication. If you've been the one always initiating conversations or constantly replying the second he texts, take a step back. Let him wonder why your responses aren't as immediate. Let him feel the subtle shift when you stop sharing every little detail of your day. This isn't about ignoring him or being rude. It's about giving yourself room to breathe and giving him the opportunity to wonder. When your phone isn't buzzing with constant updates, he starts to think, what is she up to? Who is she with? His imagination fills the gaps, and in those quiet moments, he begins to miss you. Next, focus on cultivating patience and emotional control, a hallmark of Stoicism. Remember, you're not pulling away to manipulate him, you're pulling away to center yourself. Men are drawn to women who are grounded and self-sufficient, women who don't cling to them for attention or validation. Here's a question for you. How often do you text someone just because you're bored or need reassurance? What if, instead, you use that time to journal, meditate, or call a friend? When you prioritize your emotional well-being, you send a powerful message. I value myself enough to give my energy to what truly fulfills me. Another way to create space is to be unpredictable. If he's used to you always being available, mix things up. Maybe you don't answer his text until the next day because you were genuinely busy enjoying your evening. Or perhaps you decide to take a weekend trip with friends and don't announce it until after the fact. This unpredictability keeps him on his toes and makes you more intriguing. Picture this. He's scrolling through his phone, waiting for your usual goodnight text, but it doesn't come. Instead, he sees a photo of you laughing with friends at a rooftop bar or hiking a beautiful trail. He's left wondering why you didn't mention your plans, and that curiosity starts to gnaw at him. This is the magic of creating space. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Won't he lose interest if I pull back? Not if it's done with intention. You're not disappearing or ghosting him, you're simply showing him that your world doesn't revolve around him. This is the essence of Dark Stoic Psychology, mastering the art of balancing presence and absence in a way that amplifies your allure. Here's the beauty of this strategy. It's not just about making him miss you. It's about empowering yourself. When you create space, you give yourself time to focus on your passions, strengthen your relationships with others, and reconnect with who you are. And when he sees that you're living a full and vibrant life, he won't just miss you, he'll admire you. Before we move on to the next irresistible secret, I want to hear from you. What's one way you can start creating space in your interactions? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to know how you're planning to embrace this powerful mindset shift. And if this insight resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know you're ready to dive deeper into these transformative strategies. Don't stop now, there's so much more to uncover, and I promise the best is yet to come. 3. Subtly spark jealousy. Jealousy is a potent emotion, isn't it? It's raw, undeniable, and capable of evoking feelings we didn't even know existed. When used subtly and ethically, it can ignite a man's longing for you like nothing else. But before we go further, let's be clear. This isn't about manipulation or deceit. This is about showing him, in the most natural way possible, that you're a woman who is desired, admired, and absolutely worth missing. Men are competitive by nature. The idea of losing something, or someone, to another person activates a primal instinct to fight for what they value. When a man sees that you have options or that others enjoy your company, it sends a signal. She's not waiting around for me. I need to act before it's too late. How do you spark jealousy without overstepping or being disrespectful? The answer lies in subtlety. Start by living a social, vibrant life. Make time for your friends, meet new people, and engage in activities that naturally put you in the company of others. If you're at a party or event, take a few photos with friends, especially if some of them happen to be men. Share 1 or 2 moments on social media, not with the intention of bragging, but to show that you're enjoying yourself and surrounded by good company. Here's the beauty of this approach. It's completely authentic. You're not pretending to be someone you're not, nor are you trying to provoke him. You're simply living your life. And in doing so, you're showing him that you have a world full of connections and experiences that don't revolve around him. Now, let's talk about subtle specifics. Imagine posting a group photo from a casual night out. Maybe one of the men in the photo is standing close to you, smiling warmly. To anyone else, it's just a fun snapshot, but to him, it might plant a seed of curiosity. Who's that guy? Is she interested in him? What's going on? This tiny hint of mystery can be enough to make him think twice about taking you for granted. But remember, subtlety is key. Overdoing this tactic, like posting overly intimate photos or deliberately flaunting other relationships, can come across as desperate or insincere. The goal is to create a sense of healthy intrigue, not to cause conflict or hurt feelings. There's another way to stir jealousy without involving anyone else. Highlight your interests and passions. For example, if you're posting about your love for art or travel, mention a new exhibition you attended or a trip you're planning. This shows him that your life is full of exciting possibilities, and he may start to wonder if he's missing out on sharing those moments with you. The beauty of Dark Stoic Psychology lies in this balance. It's about showcasing your worth without shouting it from the rooftops. When a man sees you thriving, connected, and independent, he begins to feel the sting of potential loss. Jealousy doesn't always come from competition with others. It can also come from realizing how much someone enhances your life. When he pictures you moving forward, growing and shining without him, it triggers that desire to stay close and be part of your journey. 4. Be memorable through shared experiences. If you think back to the most memorable connections you've had, what stands out? Chances are it's not the mundane, everyday moments. It's the laughter, the inside jokes, the adventures, and the shared stories that etched themselves into your heart. These are the threads that tie us to each other, and they are the key to making a man miss you deeply. Men are sensory creatures. They remember how you made them feel in specific moments, and those feelings become triggers for longing. So, to be unforgettable, you need to create experiences that resonate on an emotional level. How do you do this? Start by paying attention to what excites him. Is he passionate about music, sports, or travel? Use those interests as a springboard to craft unique experiences that stand out from the everyday. For example, let's say he's a huge fan of live music. Instead of suggesting a typical dinner date, surprise him with tickets to see a band you know he loves. Not only does this show that you're thoughtful and attentive, but it also creates a memory he'll associate with you every time he thinks about that concert. Another powerful way to leave an impression is through humor. Shared laughter has a magical way of binding people together, and a well-placed joke or playful banter can leave a lasting imprint. Maybe you give him a funny nickname based on an inside joke, or you both end up laughing uncontrollably over a silly mishap. Every time he hears that nickname or recalls that moment, he'll think of you, and he'll miss the joy you bring to his life. But creating memories isn't just about grand gestures. Sometimes the simplest things can have the greatest impact. Maybe it's a quiet evening cooking together and discovering a new favorite recipe, or a late night walk where you share stories and dreams. These moments of connection, however small, weave a tapestry of intimacy that lingers long after you part ways. Here's a powerful twist. Associate yourself with something he loves. For example, if he's into a particular TV show or book series, find a way to connect with it. Maybe you nickname him after a character or make light-hearted jokes about plot twists. This creates a mental link between you and something he already enjoys, making it impossible for him to engage with that passion without thinking of you. The goal is to make your time together so rich and enjoyable that the thought of losing it feels unbearable. You're not just another person in his life. You're the one who makes him feel seen, heard, and alive. And let's not forget the power of scent, a subtle but incredibly effective way to make yourself unforgettable. Wear a signature perfume when you're together, something distinct yet subtle. Later, when he catches a hint of that fragrance elsewhere, it will instantly transport him back to moments with you, stirring a flood of emotions and longing. In the end, being memorable isn't about being flashy or over the top. It's about creating a connection so genuine and meaningful that he can't help but feel your absence. When you're intentional about the memories you create, you'll find that even the simplest gestures can leave the deepest marks. And when those marks surface in his thoughts, he won't just miss you, he'll long for you. 5. Teach him something new. Have you ever met someone who introduced you to a whole new perspective, skill, or passion? Someone who left you feeling inspired, enlightened, or even challenged in a way you hadn't expected? These are the people who leave a lasting impact, the ones we find ourselves thinking about long after they've gone. If you want to make a man miss you badly, one of the most powerful ways is to teach him something new. Men are naturally drawn to women who can expand their horizons and show them something they've never seen before. It's not just about the knowledge you share, it's about how you make him feel in the process. When you inspire a man, you become more than just a part of his life, you become an irreplaceable part of his growth. So, what does this look like in practice? First, tap into your unique strengths and passions. Maybe you're an amazing cook and can teach him how to make a killer pasta dish. Perhaps you've mastered a sport or fitness routine and can show him a few moves. Or maybe you have a deep knowledge of a subject he's always been curious about, like art, history, or technology. Whatever it is, the key is to approach it with enthusiasm and confidence. For instance, imagine you're an avid reader of a genre he's never explored. Instead of just suggesting a book, explain why it excites you. Share a passage that resonates or sparks a thought-provoking discussion. Suddenly, you're not just someone he spends time with, you're someone who opens his mind to new ideas. Here's where Stoicism plays a fascinating role. One of the principles of Stoicism is personal growth and the pursuit of wisdom. By embodying this mindset, you naturally inspire others to grow alongside you. When you share knowledge or skills with him, you're not just teaching, you're inviting him to step into a better version of himself. And guess what? He'll associate that growth with you. Teaching him something new also strengthens your emotional connection. Picture this. You're showing him how to cook a dish from your favorite culture. As you laugh over a dropped ingredient or celebrate a perfectly seasoned sauce, you're not just cooking, you're creating a shared experience. Later, every time he smells that dish or tastes something similar, he'll think of you and the fun you had together. Now, some of you might wonder, what if I don't have any unique skills to share? The truth is, everyone has something special to offer. It doesn't have to be a grand, life-changing lesson. Even small things, like teaching him how to fold a fitted sheet, showing him a cool shortcut on his phone, or introducing him to your favorite podcast, can leave an impression. Here's the twist. Teaching him something new isn't just about impressing him, it's about bonding with him. When you create an environment where he feels challenged but supported, he'll remember how safe and inspired he felt in your presence. But don't stop there. Be willing to learn from him too. Ask him to teach you something he's passionate about. This mutual exchange creates balance and deepens your connection. He'll appreciate your curiosity and feel valued for his knowledge, making the experience unforgettable for both of you. Let's not forget the psychological hook here. When we learn something from someone, we're reminded of them every time we use that knowledge. Imagine teaching him a simple hack to make his morning routine easier. Every time he applies it, he'll think of you with appreciation. As we wrap up this section, take a moment to reflect. What can you teach someone that's uniquely you? What do you know, love, or enjoy that others might find intriguing? Now it's your turn to share. What's one skill, lesson, or perspective you could teach someone to leave a lasting impression? Drop your ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're planning to create meaningful connections. And if this insight sparked something within you, don't forget to like this video. It lets me know you're excited to dive deeper into these transformative strategies. Teaching and learning aren't just powerful tools in relationships, they're keys to becoming the most magnetic version of yourself. Stay tuned because the next strategy is all about emotional control. And trust me, it's a game changer you don't want to miss. 6. Don't fall into the trap of overreacting emotionally. Have you ever felt the urge to react impulsively when emotions run high? Maybe he didn't text back as quickly as you'd hoped, or he seemed distant for a moment, and you found yourself overthinking, overanalyzing, or overreacting. It's a natural response, but when it comes to making a man miss you, emotional control is your greatest ally. Men are instinctively drawn to women who exude emotional stability. When you're calm and collected, you create an atmosphere of peace and security that's incredibly attractive. Overacting, on the other hand, can make you seem needy or dependent, qualities that repel rather than attract. The key is to respond, not react. When you feel the pull of an emotional impulse, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this reaction necessary? Does it reflect the strong, centered person you are? By practicing this kind of restraint, you show him that you're not easily shaken, and that your happiness doesn't hinge on his every move. This is where Stoicism comes into play. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control what others do, we can only control how we respond. Imagine he hasn't texted you in a day or two. Instead of bombarding him with messages or spiraling into self-doubt, focus on what's within your power. Maybe you use that time to work on a personal project, connect with friends, or simply enjoy some self-care. When he finally does reach out, your composed response will leave a lasting impression. Now let's talk about the power of mystery. When you don't overreact emotionally, you maintain an air of unpredictability. If he expects you to be upset or overly eager, but you respond calmly and with poise, he'll find himself wondering, what's she thinking? Why isn't she more affected? This subtle shift in dynamic puts the ball in your court and keeps him intrigued. For example, let's say he suddenly cancels plans. Instead of expressing disappointment or frustration right away, you could simply say, "No problem, I hope everything's okay." This response shows understanding and emotional maturity, while also leaving him to wonder if he's taken you for granted. The result? He's more likely to reflect on his actions and make amends, all while realizing how rare and valuable your emotional strength is. But emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It's about mastering them. Acknowledge your emotions privately, process them, and then decide how to respond thoughtfully. This balance between vulnerability and control is a hallmark of Dark Stoic Psychology, and it's one of the most effective ways to make a man miss you deeply. When you're emotionally grounded, you become a safe space for him. In a world full of chaos and drama, your calm demeanor stands out. He begins to associate you with peace and stability, and that's something he'll crave when you're not around. Emotional control isn't just a tool for attraction, it's a gift you give to yourself, allowing you to navigate relationships with grace and confidence. 7. Resist his attention bait. Imagine this scenario. You haven't reached out to him in a while, and suddenly he posts a photo looking undeniably attractive or shares a cryptic status update that seems tailor-made to get your attention. Coincidence? Probably not. Men, just like women, have their own ways of seeking validation when they feel the absence of someone they care about. This is what I call attention bait. It's subtle, sometimes unconscious, but designed to provoke a reaction from you. And here's where many women fall into the trap. They take the bait. They comment, like or respond, giving him exactly what he wanted without even realizing it. But what happens when you don't react? When you scroll past that post without a single click or glance of acknowledgement, you flip the script entirely. By ignoring his attempts to reel you in, you create a dynamic of intrigue and self-control that leaves him unsettled. He starts to question. Why didn't she notice? Doesn't she care? What's she thinking? This absence of validation doesn't just pique his curiosity, it amplifies his longing. The strength to resist his attention bait lies in understanding one crucial principle of Dark Stoic Psychology. Your value is not defined by his efforts to provoke you. When you engage, you relinquish a piece of your power. When you remain composed, you hold on to it. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. It simply means recognizing the difference between genuine connection and attention-seeking tactics. A man who truly values you won't rely on bait to get your attention. He'll make an effort to connect authentically. Consider this. Instead of commenting on his latest post, focus on your own growth and fulfillment. Maybe you share something meaningful on your own profile or spend time engaging in activities that bring you joy. When he sees that you're not waiting around for him, it sends a powerful message. You're living your life on your terms, and he's not the center of your universe. This doesn't just make you more attractive, it sets a standard. By not falling for attention bait, you teach him that you're a woman who values real effort and meaningful gestures. And when he realizes that he can't win you over with superficial tactics, he's far more likely to step up and pursue you in a genuine way. The beauty of this approach is that it strengthens your sense of self-worth. When you stop seeking validation from his posts or actions, you free yourself from the cycle of chasing and reacting. Instead, you become the woman who inspires him to chase you, not because you played hard to get, but because you embodied true emotional independence. In the end, resisting attention bait isn't just about making him miss you, it's about reclaiming your power. And when he finally realizes the depth of your value, he'll find himself longing for the connection he once took for granted. 8. Leave a strong first impression. Think back to the last time someone completely captivated you. Was it their charm, their energy, or perhaps the way they made you feel like the only person in the room? First impressions are powerful. They linger in our minds, shaping how we think about someone long after that initial interaction. If you want a man to miss you deeply, mastering the art of a memorable first impression is crucial. Here's the secret. A great first impression isn't about perfection, it's about connection. It's about making him feel something he can't quite put into words but can't stop thinking about either. To create this kind of unforgettable moment, start with confidence. Confidence is magnetic. It doesn't mean being the loudest or boldest person in the room. It means owning who you are, embracing your uniqueness, and letting that shine. When you walk into a room, shoulders back, head high, and eyes sparkling with self-assurance, you're already halfway there. But confidence alone isn't enough. You need to create a moment that sticks. One way to do this is by being genuinely curious about him. Ask thoughtful questions, listen attentively, and respond with warmth and humor. For instance, instead of the typical "what do you do for work?", try something like "what's a project you've worked on recently that you're really proud of?" This not only shows that you're interested in him as a person, but also sets you apart from the crowd. Here's another pro tip. Leave him wanting more. When the conversation is flowing and you're both having a great time, resist the urge to linger too long. Excuse yourself gracefully with a smile that says, "There's so much more to me than you've seen tonight." This subtle move creates intrigue and leaves him eager for the next encounter. And don't underestimate the power of body language. A light touch on his arm as you laugh at his joke or maintaining steady eye contact can communicate volumes without saying a word. These small, subconscious cues create a sense of intimacy and connection that he'll replay in his mind long after you've parted ways. But what if you've already met him and feel like you didn't make the best impression? Don't worry, there's always a chance to reset. The next time you see him, focus on being fully present and authentic. A simple, heartfelt compliment or an inside joke referencing your first meeting can go a long way in turning things around. Now let's add a little twist. What if you associate yourself with something unexpected? Maybe it's a unique fragrance that becomes your signature, so every time he smells it, he thinks of you. Or perhaps it's a playful nickname you give him, something light-hearted and fun that no one else uses. These small, distinctive touches make you memorable in ways that go beyond the ordinary. Here's where Dark Stoic Psychology weaves its magic. A memorable first impression isn't about overwhelming someone with attention or trying too hard to impress. It's about mastering your energy, staying calm and collected, and focusing on what you can control, your demeanor, your presence, and the way you make others feel. When you approach your interactions with this mindset, you radiate a quiet confidence that draws people to you naturally. And now I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you think makes someone unforgettable? Is it their humor, their kindness, or the way they make you feel heard? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might inspire someone else to create their own memorable moments. If this idea resonates with you, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you've ever made a first impression so powerful it left someone thinking about you for days, share your story. Let's create a space where we can all learn from each other and grow into the most magnetic versions of ourselves. Stay tuned because the next step is all about using social media strategically to make him miss you even more. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. 9. Use social media strategically. In today's world, social media is one of the most powerful tools for shaping perception. Whether we like it or not, platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok give people a window into our lives. And when used wisely, they can amplify your allure and leave someone longing for more. But here's the key. Social media should never be about oversharing or seeking validation. Instead, it's a subtle stage where you can showcase your vibrant, thriving life. If you want a man to miss you badly, your social media presence should strike a delicate balance between intriguing and authentic, leaving him curious and captivated. Start by focusing on quality over quantity. There's no need to flood your feed with endless updates about every minor detail of your day. Instead, share meaningful moments that reflect your passions, joy, and accomplishments. Maybe it's a picture from a spontaneous hike, a snapshot of a beautiful meal you cooked, or a thought-provoking quote that resonates with your mindset. These posts should feel effortless and genuine, not curated for attention. Remember, mystery is your ally. Don't reveal too much about your day-to-day activities. Let there be gaps in your story, moments where he's left wondering, what's she doing? Who is she with? This is where Dark Stoic Psychology works its magic. By leaving some things unsaid and unseen, you allow his imagination to fill in the blanks, often in ways that make you even more intriguing. One of the most effective tactics is to occasionally post about group activities or social events. A photo of you surrounded by friends, laughing and having a great time, shows that you're connected, loved, and enjoying life. If there happens to be a subtle presence of other men in the picture, it might stir a touch of healthy jealousy, not because you're trying to provoke him, but because it reminds him that you're desirable and sought after. It's also important to avoid certain traps. Posting too frequently or sharing overly personal or negative updates can make your online presence feel draining instead of engaging. The goal is to create a sense of lightness and positivity that draws him in, not overwhelm him with unnecessary noise. Here's another tip. Use captions wisely. A simple, thoughtful caption can add depth to your posts and make them more engaging. For example, instead of posting a generic picture of a sunset with the caption "Beautiful evening," try something more introspective, like "Moments like these remind me how much beauty there is in stillness." Captions like these offer a glimpse into your inner world, making you appear reflective and grounded, qualities that men find deeply attractive. But what if he's not particularly active on social media? That's okay. The purpose of this strategy isn't to constantly grab his attention, but to cultivate a presence that he'll remember and think about when he does check in. Even if he only sees one post, make sure it leaves an impression. Now let's address a common question. Should you use social media to interact with him directly? The answer is to tread carefully. A few likes here and there can show subtle interest, but avoid excessive engagement that might come across as overbearing. Instead, let your profile do the talking. A well-crafted post or story can say more than a dozen comments ever could. Ultimately, using social media strategically is about showcasing the best version of yourself, not to impress him, but to reflect the life you're genuinely living. When he sees that you're thriving, enjoying meaningful connections, and embracing your passions, he'll start to realize what he's missing. And that realization? It's a powerful force that can make him long to be part of your world again. When you approach social media with intention and balance, it becomes an extension of your confidence and self-assuredness. Through this lens, every post becomes a subtle reminder of your value, leaving him captivated by the life you're living and wondering if he can ever find his way back into it. 10. Live by Stoic principles. There's something undeniably magnetic about a woman who lives with purpose and balance. She doesn't chase, she doesn't cling, and she doesn't falter in the face of rejection or uncertainty. Instead, she exudes strength, calm, and self-assurance, a quality that draws people in without her even trying. This is the essence of living by Stoic principles, and it's one of the most powerful ways to make a man miss you badly. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. In the context of relationships, this means shifting your energy away from trying to force his attention and instead channeling it into becoming the best version of yourself. When you embody this mindset, you radiate a quiet confidence that makes you unforgettable. Start by cultivating inner peace and self-reliance. One of the most attractive qualities in a woman is her ability to find happiness within herself. Men are naturally drawn to women who are grounded, content, and emotionally resilient, women who don't rely on external validation to feel whole. When he sees that your happiness doesn't depend on his presence, it sends a powerful message. You're someone who chooses to be with him, not someone who needs to be with him. This doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions or act indifferent. In fact, vulnerability is an important part of connection. The difference is that you express your emotions with grace and control, rather than letting them control you. For instance, if he does something that bothers you, approach the situation calmly and thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This level-headedness not only earns his respect, but also sets you apart from others who might fall into patterns of emotional turbulence. Another key aspect of Dark Stoic Psychology is maintaining balance. Don't allow your world to revolve around him, no matter how much you care. Continue pursuing your passions, building your career, and nurturing your friendships. By doing so, you create a rich, fulfilling life that he'll naturally want to be a part of. Let's talk about how this works in practice. Imagine you've been spending time with him, and suddenly he pulls back or becomes distant. Instead of panicking or chasing him for answers, you step back as well, not in anger or frustration, but with calm self-respect. You use this time to focus on yourself, whether that's hitting the gym, tackling a creative project, or spending time with loved ones. This quiet detachment speaks volumes. It shows him that while you care, you're not dependent on his attention. And when he realizes that you're perfectly fine on your own, it creates a longing within him to reconnect. Stoicism also teaches us the power of gratitude. When you live with gratitude for the present moment, you stop obsessing over what you lack or what you wish would happen. This shift in perspective not only makes you more content, but also makes you more attractive. A grateful heart radiates positivity, and people are naturally drawn to that energy. When he's around you, he'll feel the warmth of your presence, and when you're gone, he'll miss the way you made him feel. One of the most profound lessons of Stoicism is the concept of impermanence, the idea that nothing lasts forever. When you embrace this truth, you stop holding on so tightly to things that are out of your control. Instead, you learn to appreciate the beauty of each moment without clinging to it. This mindset allows you to approach relationships with a sense of freedom and ease, which, ironically, makes you even more captivating. In the end, living by Stoic principles isn't just about making him miss you. It's about becoming the woman you've always wanted to be. A woman who is strong, self-assured, and deeply fulfilled. A woman who doesn't chase but attracts. A woman who doesn't need anyone's approval to feel whole. And when you live this way, something incredible happens. You don't just make him miss you, you make him realize that you're a once-in-a-lifetime kind of person. The kind of person who is impossible to forget. You've just uncovered the ultimate secrets to making any man miss you badly, even if he's not interested right now. From showcasing your thriving life to mastering emotional control, these strategies aren't just about getting his attention. They're about transforming your mindset, reclaiming your power, and becoming the most magnetic version of yourself. Now, it's your turn. Which of these strategies resonated with you the most? Do you see yourself creating space, sparking intrigue, or mastering the art of Stoicism? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your journey and what you're excited to try next. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more transformative insights. And of course, share this with someone who might need a little inspiration to step into their power. Thank you for joining me on this journey, Remember, the key to making someone miss you isn't about playing games. It's about embracing your authentic self and letting your light shine. Until next time, stay confident, stay powerful, and keep thriving. You've got this.